So let's talk about the most important skill to have in the world if you want to succeed as an entrepreneur and you want to make a lot of money online. And this is a must skill to have. Like, this is a skill that I used to hate with all of my heart. Honestly, I still hate it. I currently do it. I currently have a job where I'm able to practice this skill, but I still hate the skill. I don't like it. I don't enjoy doing it. But I understand the importance of it. And I understand that if you do not learn this skill, you'll never make it in business. And it is simply sales. Sales is the most important skill you can have. The art of persuasion, the art of speaking, the art of communicating, the art of getting someone to act on what you say and how you say it and how you persuade them to take action. It is an incredibly important skill that is as old as time. Sales isn't only in the context of having someone buying from you, but it's also when you ask that girl out and you try to make her a case on why she should pick you. Or when you're at a job interview, that's also sales. You're trying to convince them and persuade them to hire you. Or when you try to get that friend or a loved one to a place where you want to go and kind of like try to convince them that we should go here, we should do this thing, that's also sales. Sales is everywhere. It's as old as time and it's always been the case. So sales is one of those things that you cannot neglect. I've always hated sales. I've done door-to-door sales. I've been a salesman as a personal trainer. I've done appointment setting. I've done all sorts of things. And right now I'm doing high-ticket closing. And again, even though I'm doing, I'm in a position that I'm doing well for myself and I actually think it's super valuable, I don't necessarily enjoy the skill of sales so much, but I understand how important it is. Because if you can sell, you'll never go broke a day in your life. And you need to learn how to sell. It doesn't matter if you learn a skill. Let's say you go and learn video editing, you become really good at it. Sure, you can sell and make money solely based off of your skill set. But if you're a horrible salesman, if you're going to sell a high-ticket product and then you get on a call and they start asking you questions and you have to navigate through the call and focus on their pain points and solving their problems, and instead you focus on, the features of your product, what you have to offer, and you don't focus on the prospect, but you focus on the product, then you don't know how to sell. You're focusing on the wrong things, and that will never get you the money in. Even if you're good at the skill, you'll still fumble a lot of sales calls. And that's the danger of not knowing how to sell, especially if you're doing high-ticket sales. If you're selling a high-ticket product or service, you're gonna need to do sales. You're most likely not gonna close them on DMs. You're gonna have to get on a call with them. And even if you close them on DMs, you're still gonna have to know how to convince them and how to get them to buy with text, right? But most of the time, it's gonna be through a call. And if you're not prepared, if you don't know how to navigate through the call, you're gonna lose out on a lot of money. And that used to be me. I used to run a copywriting agency and I couldn't sell for the love of me. I got on sales calls and I didn't know what I was doing. I failed each and every single time. And that's something you have to avoid if you want to get into entrepreneurship. You have to learn how to sell. You cannot rely on the skill itself. So sales is the most important skill on the face of the earth. If you're like me and you hate sales, you have to get over that. You have to understand that you have to learn it anyways. You have to get good at it anyways, no matter if you like it or not. And that's just how it is, Like I've done all the jobs, all the different kinds of jobs. I've done face-to-face sales, which was door-to-door. I've done phone sales. I've done appointment setting. I've done cold calling. And right now I'm doing Zoom calls, right? And it is what it is. Like it's one of those things that can be super frustrating when someone doesn't buy and you get ghosted by someone. But it's one of those skills you have to buy. Selling is as old as time. And if you can't communicate the value of what you're doing and make someone understand the gravity of their current problems and the urgency of why they need to act right now, you're never going to sell anything and you're not going to make any money online. So the most important skill you can learn is sales. Before you start any business, learn sales. Before you go into any different kind of venture, do sales first. It's not going to be super fun because most people don't like sales. And sales has a bad reputation as well. You look at salesmen, you just see them as these sleazy salesmen and you don't want to have anything to do with them. But I urge you to learn the skill. Even hop on sales calls as a prospect and kind of observe what the salesman is doing. Of course, by doing this, you're going to waste their time, which is maybe not the ethical thing to do. So maybe don't do this, but if you have plans maybe of buying something that they're selling, but then you end up not buying, then I guess it's fair. But you can learn a lot by seeing someone and how they sell, and then trying to apply the same tactics if the tactics were good, of course, and if the strategies were good. But then taking a lot of sales calls yourself, just doing mock calls or taking sales calls for free and not being compensated for that is a good way to get yourself in the door and just learning the skill. But mock calls are super powerful. If you're part of a community, you can just hop on a bunch of mock calls and just practice. But please don't neglect sales. This is something that has held me back massively. I've always seen sales as this thing that I genuinely hate, that I'm not meant to do. Because I've always been an introvert as well, I've always looked at sales like, this is not something for me. This is something I'm never going to be able to do. But I was wrong. Sales is something that anyone can learn. It doesn't matter if you're an introvert or an extrovert. Obviously, extroverts are going to have an easier time to sell. However, as an introvert, you can still sell. You can still make it happen and you can still make it work. It's just a limiting mindset of thinking that just because you're an introvert, you can't make it work. When you can. You know, anyone can do sales, even if you're an introvert. And I didn't understand this. I just thought I wasn't destined to be good at sales. But now, time has proven that I've actually learned the skill and I understand the fundamentals of it. I have so much more to improve, but I'm still able to sell right now. I'm still able to close high ticket, and I'm very happy about that. So please, guys, do not neglect this skill. Do not think that you're too good to do sales. The most important skill you can do and learn is sales. Even if you have a mediocre offer, if you know how to sell, you're going to be bulletproof. Imagine having a mediocre offer, but you can convince someone still that you can help them. Obviously, you still want to deliver on what it is that you promise. You don't want to lie to them and give them false promises. I'm not saying that. But sometimes you may not have the best offer, you may not have the most experience in what you're doing, but you're still trying to land clients. Being good at sales will increase your chances of landing that client. Then obviously you're going to do the best job to deliver the best kind of service for them or product or whatever. So they're happy with you and you can improve your skill set on that business and get more testimonials and then just keep going from there. But it's very important that you know how to sell, especially in the beginning when you don't have much social proof. You need that confidence. You need to be able to understand the prospect and focus on the prospect and focus on how you can help them. Remember, focus on their dream outcome and their pain points. Do not focus so much on your product. Like, obviously, if it's an insane product, if it's an absolutely revolutionary product, you can put more focus on it. But most of the time, people are not going to have revolutionary products. Most products out there or offers out there are more or less going to be somewhat of the same, in the same direction at least, but some differences, of course. But most of the time, they're not going to be revolutionary. They're not going to be like, there's not going to be revolutionary differences. So what you're going to have to focus on is your sales skills. So don't neglect this skill, guys. Take it very seriously. If you don't, you're going to end up like I did, wasting over a year of my time trying to navigate the world of entrepreneurship and not making any money whatsoever, barely anything, just scraping by. Please don't do that. You have to prioritize sales. It's going to set you up for amazing success, not just with making money, but how you communicate with people, how you network with people, how you get into new rooms, how you get that girl you've always wanted, like whatever it is. Being able to sell is such a powerful skill. Like just being able to get your way by using words, by just speaking. It's so powerful. By using your tonality and your word choice, what you talk about, how you say things, it's incredibly powerful. It's the most fascinating skill out there that you can make money by just speaking to someone. Don't neglect this, because if you do, you're probably going to end up where I did, where I spent wasted over a year trying to navigate the world of entrepreneurship and failing so much. So don't be like me, guys. Understand this is the most important skill you can learn as a man. You have to learn it right now. If you want to be an entrepreneur, if you want to make money online, You have to take this super seriously. You have to learn this skill. And then you can start focusing on other things as you've nailed down the most important skill you can learn as an entrepreneur. Then everything else will come naturally. The marketing, whatever you're doing, whether that's video editing or SEO or whatever it is, all of these things will come naturally after you've learned sales. But first, you have to nail down the most important staple. So remember that, guys. And yeah, as always, I'll see you next time. Cheers.